Still sounds great, doesn't he? A multi-platinum selling country music artist. He's an actor, and he is a father to one of America's hottest young starlets. He's now releasing his 13th album called Change My Mind. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Billy Ray Cyrus. Good morning.
Good morning, Lisa. It's great to be with you.
Good to have you here. Hey, you know, I just like so many other women, years ago, I was such a fan. Achy Breaky Heart was like the song. We all line danced to it. Were you shocked at how that took off and catapulted you to #1?
I felt like there was something really special about the song. You know, built upon a decade of persistence and dedication and the will to never give up on, you know, getting the music out there. That was the tough part of the journey, but I do think that it, you know, in some ways it was that catalog of music that, you know, had me in a mindset that this is my purpose, to make music, the music to be heard around the world, and God give me the wisdom and vision and ability to use this music to touch other people's lives. And to answer your question, I felt like there was something special about that song for sure.
So I'm curious too, I mean, as a parent, you know, we've all watched you with your daughter Miley and watched you as you kind of helped guide her through through popularity and through Hollywood and stardom. It wasn't easy though.
Well, you know, no, nothing's in this journey, you know, it comes easy, and it's not easy. You take one step at a time, day by day, do the best you can do. You may have seen, I have a new book out. It's called Hillbilly Heart. It just came out last week on Amazon, and you'll read through that book that, you know, I'm a very imperfect person. I certainly have probably made more mistakes and failed more times than I've succeeded. But what I've tried to, you know, put in the book and what I try to translate to other folks is that's what life is. It's a journey, and being able to look at your mistakes is a great way to learn. You know, for me, it was about getting back up when you get knocked down. Thomas Edison said failure is the most important ingredient for success. And again, certainly I failed more times than I succeeded, but it's about reaching for your dreams. That's what the book is dedicated to, dreamers. And, you know, anyone out there, whether it's my kids or your kids or anyone that has a dream, you know, if you believe you can, if you believe you can do it, you can do it. But it's going to take a lot of work.
So what is it when you're in those darkest times, the most difficult moments, and when you see your children going through difficult moments, where do you reach from to get inspiration to turn it into positive?
Well, my papa was a Pentecostal preacher, so luckily I was raised and surrounded with a great deal of faith. That being said, he died when I was 12 years old, and you know, I've certainly went through periods of darkness and battling darkness, and you just got to you dig deep inside. You got to believe in hope. When it all comes down to it, you believe in hope, you believe in love, and you reach for the light.
And I think people are really going to see that in your book. They're going to learn a lot of really good lessons about that. So here on our show, Billy Ray, we have Pat Smith is one of our hosts, Emmett Smith's wife. Emmett Smith, who you know, won Dancing with the Stars. You were on Dancing with the Stars. What was that experience like for you?
Well, it was the exact opposite of Emmett's experience. Emmett was. Thank you.
It's Pat,
yeah,
by the way.
Thank you very much. I'm a big Emmett Smith fan, and he was just so. Well, Emmett was so smooth, and he just glided across the dance floor. You know, he Mr. Smooth. You know, that's Emmett. You know. My journey was very different. Mine, very different. But you know, that being said, you know, it's one of those things. You do it for the fun of it. You do it because, for me, I had just recently lost my father at that time, and I needed something to just take my mind out into a little different space, a little different challenge. And I knew that my dad would love the opportunity if I would do something as crazy as being on Dancing with the Stars. So I did it for him.
You know, I think that's really what's so inspirational about you is that you've been in all spaces. I mean, singing, acting, dancing, everything. Do you think that's kind of the secret to success, to sort of play in different fields?
Well, my dad said to me back in the mid-90s, you know, he said, son, you know, it looks to me like you got all your eggs in one basket. And he said, I always wanted you to have one of them careers like Dolly and Kenny Rogers. And I said, well, I'd love to have one of those too, Dad, but what do you got to do? And he said, well, for an old boy from Kentucky, he said, it's pretty obvious to me you need to get into acting. And I ended up auditioning for a David Lynch movie called Mulholland Drive, and he hired me, and through that experience, wasn't long after that I landed my first series, Doc, and then Doc went 4 years, 88 episodes, and then I swore I'd never do another series, and along came Hannah Montana, and 101 episodes later of that, and Dancing with the Stars, and oh, thank you, thanks. You know, it's just part of a crazy journey, and somewhere along the way I kept going back again to what my dad said, do what you do because you love it, not because you have to. And I enjoy a good challenge. I enjoy reinvention. Those artists that I admire the most, as in Johnny Cash, are guys that constantly reinvented themselves in their music and their art.
Well, I think that's the secret, and of course, your new book really talks about your journey, and everybody can pick that up on Amazon or in bookstores, right?
That's right. That is exactly correct. And the album is called Change My Mind, and again, you can get the album at Ryan's, and the proceeds go to help Armed Services YMCA, which is a great way to say thank you to our military men and women and their families for their service and sacrifice.
Hey, Billy Ray, when you're in Dallas, will you come see us at the show?
I would be honored to.
Okay, you all heard it.
I'd love it.
Billy Ray Cyrus,
let's do it.
Thank you so much for being with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, take care. Okay, and as he said, you can pick up the new album, Change My Mind, wherever you like to buy your music. It's also available on iTunes right now for $8.